Rick, does this feel a little bit like a dress rehearsal for you guys to kind of get a look at a lineup that maybe you could see on opening night?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's 100% in stone, but I mean, the majority, I would say yes. But I think most teams at this point, the last couple of games, you start to try to chunk things together. So yeah, the majority, yes.
Not just the personnel, but the line combos. Are these potential combos that you guys are seriously considering rolling with to start the year?
They're potential. I mean, like I said, I've been here a short time. I don't know. You're still looking for chemistry. There's still some spots that you're trying to figure. Can this guy play with this guy? You're playing. Matchup problems against other teams, the good and the bad. So you go through all that stuff. A little bit of a gut. You have to go with your gut sometimes. You talk to our assistant coaches. Hey, try this and try that. It might not work. It might work. So we got to go through this process, especially for us new coaches.
When you're on the bench, what's your process? Do you call lines? Do you just kind of let your assistant coaches run things? So like, what's your
for lines?
Yeah.
No,
I
run.
What's your?
No, I run the lines. Yeah.
Are you like calling guys off? Are you that guy that is very active on the bench?
Well, I think earlier on, I'd probably bark a little bit more, like telling the guys to get off. But I think when you got a well-oiled machine, guys kind of run themselves. I'm a big change guy. I think if you look, the winning recipe is you could lose games with bad changes or long shifts. So we definitely have to. That's one thing for me that we have to go through in this process is, especially early, a couple of exhibition games, we had a lot of guys take long shifts, and you're not going to win with that recipe. So I'm a big change guy. I know people don't talk about changes. I do. I think so. That's why it's important that for me and the coaches that it's part of our Bible. You have to be a good change team.
Is the focus on today's game a little bit on just maybe the concepts and systems and seeing how much the guys are grasped of what you want to do?
Well, yeah, I think today's meeting today, our assistant coaches put it together, was great. It was the first game against the Islanders to the last game in Boston, how you can see the improvement of the concepts, better breakouts, better, listen, we still got a long ways to go, but the improvement. And I knew that was going to happen because everything's new, right? And there's new stuff around here. All we're looking for is improvement. We talk about maximizing your team and your talent level, and that's our job as coaches. So you're seeing you're getting that little inch every day. The hard part is to do it every day. It's hard. It's hard to play winning hockey, and it's hard to do certain things. You can do it once in a while, but can we do it all the time? So that's the goal.
One guy you have in the lineup tonight is Nick Delorier. Last year, under Torts, he kind of was not an every night guy.
Sure.
He spent a lot of time up in the press box. Do you have a read on how you plan to use him this year? Do you see him as more of an every night guy, having a bigger role than he had under Torts, or are you not sure yet?
Well, the goal is for him to be an everyday guy. Whether he is or not, I don't know. He'll decide that. But I thought he's worked really hard in camp. I don't think he's been a liability out there. Obviously, he adds. He's one of the toughest guys in the league. To be honest with you, since I haven't seen the other team really get out of line. There's a little bit of old school in there, but there's also new school where he's got to be able to, he's got to make a play. Can't be a defensive liability, and I think he's done a nice job. So whether he's an everyday, I don't know, but he's bought in, and I think we have the right coaching staff to really help him, be an everyday player. Whether he is or not, I'm not quite sure.
I know some skilled guys in the past have said when they have kind of a tougher guy on the ice, they feel like they have a little more space. Just naturally, that presence kind of does that. Do you believe there's something to that?
Well, I think there is something to that. The old days are over. The stage fighting, the guy playing one or two shifts a game. I mean, that doesn't happen anymore. But if you have a guy that's very tough and that can play, that's a good thing to have. You look at Florida. Their fourth line, very tough. That's a tough line. They won the cup. They played, I think Paul Maurice probably played those guys some nights 10 to 12 minutes in huge games. And there's some games I thought they helped their team out. So There is something there to say about that, but you have to be able to play the game.
Do you look at that fourth line as potentially like an identity line, a line that you can rely on and kind of swing momentum at times?
Yeah, I'm a big Hathaway fan. He is, he is a guy that he's a leader, and whatever he'll do, whatever is asked. He wants to play for a winning team. The guy that I got to get more ice time because the fourth line usually doesn't play as much is Dvorak. So I got to I might move him around. I might put him on the wing sometimes with certain people. I got to find him more minutes. I can't just let him. I don't think he's a fourth line center, but just because of the center position, I'm a big strength of the center position. I think when you have a balanced centerman, it helps you in a game. So I think that's the one guy I got to make sure I get him some other looks and other times on the ice.